Welcome back to Big Z Sports, next edition of Two-A-Days, right here at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in the New Philadelphia Quakers. Chris Gale, Adam Sweski here, of course, brought to you by Claxon Communications, 99.9 WTUZ, and of course, Gillen Body Shop, who covers the New Philadelphia Quakers. And Adam, a lot of changeover with the New Philadelphia Quakers. It starts at the top with this guy to my right.
Oh, absolutely, and excited to see what the Quakers are going to do this season with the production on the field. And the nice thing about the Quakers, there's tradition here. So I don't expect a lot of change from what we've seen in years past because of that tradition that's been built.
And we will introduce first-year head coach Mike Johnson of the New Philadelphia Quakers. And, Coach, you're not new to the program. In your 13th season, of course, a 12-year assistant. And, like Adam said, the tradition continues. It continues through you.
Well, yeah, we're really excited to kind of keep things going. We got the players who are familiar with what we've been doing, so the off season wasn't all that different than what they've known for my last 12 years. So we've been coming in, hitting the weight room hard, getting to the field, and now it's exciting to get to two-a-days and get things started.
You guys got any cool mottos for this season?
Well, you almost hit it on the head there. It's tradition lives on. Matt created a great tradition here in his time, his 18 years here. He took us from a program that was kind of, we're hot and cold, and made us consistent and took us back to the tradition that New Philadelphia's had. And this is year 125 of New Philadelphia football, and we're excited to keep this tradition living on.
Coach, let's rewind and take a quick peek at last year. Of course, you guys finished up at 7-2. You were the number 4 seed in Division III, Region 9, lost to the eventual state champion in Chardon. Just talk about how you felt from the offensive side of things. Everything went well last year, and obviously when you run into a juggernaut in Chardon, you get what you get.
Well, yeah, Chardon is an excellent team. They've been consistently good for a lot of years, always at the top of our region. And it's kind of neat to see what they were able to do at the end of the year. So, we had a good year offensively last year. One of the things that we're going to do, this year we've lost a lot of guys. So we're looking for a lot of new starters. Offensive line-wise, we're looking for 4 new guys. And I think we found those guys. We always have people step up. Last year we had Caden O'Neill step up as quarterback. This year we got Curtis Tetzloff, and we also have Connor Rippeth coming in to take on that quarterback duty. One thing that is consistent, though, is Reese Meekin. We had Reese run the ball last year. He ran for 950 yards in 9 games, which is excellent. We're excited for Reese again this year.
And that's all part of that tradition that we had talked about earlier. When you build a program with tradition, it's easier to fill those voids, whether it be 4 or 5 of the starters or 9, 10 starters. There's been years like that for the Quakers in the past, and it sounds like it just continues on.
Well, that's been a big priority. This offseason, our kids focused. One thing they do a great job is they worked hard, I guess. You ask them, hey, jump, they're jumping. You ask them to squat, they're squatting. And they were great this offseason in the weight room, and that was never an issue on, hey, work harder, because they always worked hard.
Anybody so far, I know it's early on in the two-a-days, but anybody that's just maybe kind of flying under the radar in the off season, and now that you're on the field seeing them run plays and do different things, anybody kind of jumping out at you early on?
Well, I think we found we weren't sure if we had guys to start with, to even, who's going to be our best 11 offensively or defensively. And now we got 11, we got maybe 14, 15, so we have a couple other pieces we can work in. A couple of the senior wideouts, Oren Martin, Zach Lochenslager. We're seeing Dan DiDonato is a junior who's stepped up at one of these wideout positions. Willie Wallace all over the field, and he started for us as a sophomore. So, we're excited to have him come back. So there's a couple of guys like that. Matthew Beach looks good and healthy and fast. So we're looking forward to him at linebacker and tight end. Connor Tetzloff, kind of H-back and linebacker. So we have a lot of people kind of just filling in and working. Trevor Bean had a tremendous track season. We're excited to see what he can do with the ball in his hands and on defense. So a lot of these guys are kind of two-way guys, but that's what you deal with at Division III schools, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Coach, taking a look at your schedule, you added Akron, Buchtel, Northland, of course, Division III state champion in Chardon, who you guys lost to, obviously, in the playoffs. Marlington, who you played back in 2019 and got a big win against them. Vincent Warren, a lot of different people on that schedule, especially to start off. And then, at least you've got a lot of games at home coming down the stretch, but first two on the road.
Yeah, the first two are on the road, and it's always a long trip down to Marietta. So we're down to Marietta, and it's been 2 years since we've played them, since with the COVID year. The first two are big tests on the road. Then we have Buchtel coming to town, Canfield coming to town, which are both very good teams. So the schedule doesn't really get easy, but we know that, and we've been preparing for it.
One thing, speaking of the schedule, I know probably as a coach it's going to be easier come next year because the past few years it's kind of been pick a team from here and there and everywhere to fill a complete schedule. Next year you join the OCC. There's going to be that stability now in the scheduling. Are you looking forward to that as a coach?
Yeah, we had a coaches meeting a couple of months ago with the OCC, and it's kind of exciting to see who those guys are and get to know them. So I think that'll be great to have that consistency year in, year out. And I think everybody's kind of in the boat this year where you played 6 regular season games last year. Everyone was scrambling to find a schedule, and then you found it and you went with it. So what's kind of nice is, this year we have a schedule, and then next year, when we get to that league schedule, I'm pretty excited about that because hey, we're going to Ashland or wherever. You got it all figured out. Yeah.
So before we let you go, Coach, and get to your team and get underway with today's practice, I got to ask you, okay, you've been here for 13 years now. Is it different now when all eyes are focused on you compared to just being an assistant?
Yes, it is, because now the big picture is all on you. Everything, the good, the bad, it's all on you, and that's okay. We have great coaches who work really, really hard. We got kids who want to learn and want to prove themselves. So what's really exciting is everybody has the same vision. Everybody has the same goal, and since we're aligned in that regard, I'm really excited for what's in store for us this year.
Well, Coach, we look forward to covering the New Philadelphia Quakers. As always, we look forward to covering your first season here, and of course, can't wait to talk to you post-game for the wins and all that good stuff. And then, of course, Week 10 is Week 10, and we'll be here in full force when it comes to that.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to have you. Thanks for everything you guys do, and go Quakers.
All right, thanks, Coach. That is head coach Mike Johnson, first year head coach of the New Philadelphia Quakers. And Adam, it sounds like we had talked about, that tradition is going to continue on just like it has. And I don't expect the Quakers to miss a beat with this guy at the helm.
No, absolutely not. And that's where, building that tradition and just building that program, when you have big changes like this, it doesn't affect those teams quite as much as the ones that haven't built those programs.
Yeah, and as Coach mentioned, I think we're going to get a lot of Reese Meekin this year as well.
It sounds that way.
Yes, it does. All right, well, thank you for joining us on this stop. Of course, on our Big Z Sports Two-A-Days, brought to you by 99.9 WTUZ, of course, right here at New Philadelphia and Gillen Body Shop, and, of course, Claxon Communications. Next stop, who knows where we'll find it, where we will end up, but, of course, you're going to have to stay tuned and find out on YouTube and Facebook. For Adam Sawecki and Coach Johnson, I'm Chris Kale. We'll see you at the next stop.